collision like that?
Okay, so
Oh,
this
he
is
just
part
said
2.
there's 300 gallons in that thing.
Burst into flame. I mean, it was unbelievable.
I'll tell you, I better not reach the goddamn red.
Wow.
Yeah, but that tractor looks like it's toast.
Still trying to get it under control.
And you know, I would say maybe they could drive it down off the track, but if you look,
Wow.
the driver's door is caved in. I don't think you can even get in the vehicle if you were brave enough to try it.
Now, we've just had pit stops. Everyone from 5th place on back has stopped. Dave Blaney did not pit under this caution, along with Landon Castle, Tony Raines, and David Gilliland.
I
They
think
are
the
the
end of
race
this race.
leaders
I think David Blaine's going to
as
win.
we are under the red flag. Blaney driving
This
for
might
the
be part 2.
Tom Baldwin
I
Jr.
might-
team.
Sorry.
Castle with a brand new ride, and Raines, who just got a ride a few weeks ago into the Daytona 500 with teammate the Gilliland at Front Row Motorsports. They are the race leaders under this red flag for a bizarre incident entering turn number 3. An Indy 500 at Monaco Grand Prix winner Juan Pablo Montoya went down the back straightaway. Something on the car broke from the sparks underneath, lost control of the steering, and slid up into the trailer that held that jet helicopter engine, which was blowing debris off
they
the
don't
racetrack
cancel the
while we
race.
were under caution.
You know, as far as the drivers that pitted, Matt Kenseth in the 17, who had been leading, he won the battle off pit road. That car is destroyed.
Look at Montoya's car.
More fire trucks going to the scene. Now that's the front of the race car. It hit the trailer, which went up in the air, and the race car pretty much submarined underneath it.
It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
Watch Montoya's car on this replay as we try to discern what may have broken.
Here,
We're under caution.
here he comes back here. You can see
There
him
you go,
coming.
yeah.
There's the car.
Jet dryer's up high. He sees the safety truck flashing its lights. Sparks fly. And around he goes.
Here's a different angle. See the safety trucks up top?
I mean, it just exploded. When it hit it, it just exploded.
And he was traveling at a high rate of speed, trying to catch back up with the field.
Back of the field.
Montoya climbs away, and the driver of the safety truck was helped from his vehicle, walked down the banking and away. We have some audio from Juan Pablo Montoya.
Something massively broken. Yes, with the transmission or something. If I try to accelerate, it just starts vibrating out of control every gear. Look at the rear of the car. Hey, we just broke and hit the safety truck. You alright? You alright?
Oh no, they might have to cancel the race again.
He's out of the car.
Yeah, they canceled the race yesterday because over there, where they have it.
Let's go back to Montoya's pit
range.
stop prior to this. And a lot of work going on under the car, Larry.
Yeah, evidently, he was talking about maybe the vibration in every gear. It's like they were maybe trying to look and see if they had a rear end problem or something. That's the reason this crew member is sitting there trying to rotate the tire back and forth, and they're looking underneath in the drivetrain area.
And then he pulled off pit road, tried to gain speed down the backstretch, and catch up to the pack under the caution flag.
Oh,
Look how hot that was.
I don't live there.
And I guarantee that's where he slammed into it.
And the most important thing, everyone is all right.
Oh,
Now that
far
truck
away
was
from
up
you.
against the safer barrier,
Very far.
which is steel, but is backed by foam blocks, which have doubtless taken a hit from the heat of that fire.
Ooh,
And the big
number
question right
27,
now
that's
is what kind of
me.
shape is the
He's in
racing
15th
surface
place.
in
Write that on the board.
that was aflame
Right on the
after
board.
this strange crash down at turn number 3.
Fuel, you can see fuel still running out of that tank. It's 200 gallon in there. It's still running down the hill.
Wow.
While they clean this up in turn 3 and the cars are stopped on the backstretch under the red flag. Let's go down to John Roberts and Michael Waltrip for a race recap.
Mike, thanks a lot. Back in the Hollywood Hotel. Mike, I guess when you ever say you've seen everything on a racetrack, something like this happens.
You can't imagine that something just coincidentally his car would break right when he was by those jet dryers. Such a sad scene. Glad to see the safety worker got away and Juan walked away as well, but tragedy.
Man, well, let's take you back in time and get a race recap right now. Take you back to earlier in the race when things got pretty heated early on the racetrack as well. Mikey, here Elliott Sadler gets in the back of Jimmy Johnson, and then behind him collected a lot of cars. Ford really got that damage.
We weren't even warmed up real good yet, John. You know, we've been sitting around for a day waiting to race, and you can see there just a little too close of a push there from Elliott to Jimmy Johnson. It winds up in the wrong direction.
Look at the aggressive driving by Denny Hamlin. Mikey, you've said all night long you like the way he's pushing it.
Yeah, he's got a car that's fast, and he's not afraid to push. He's the only guy that we've seen take chance after chance. He wants to be in the front. It's the only place he's happy, and he's doing whatever he has to get there.
He's got a new crew chief, Darian Grubb, who has actually won one of these with Jimmy Johnson before. More bad news for Hendrick Motorsports as Jeff Gordon's car blows up.
A couple of your heavy stars, Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, out of the race in the biggest race of the year, the Daytona 500. Watch this impact, John.
Unbelievable to see that the safety vehicles are out on the racetrack. Juan Pablo Montoya has something break in the car. He loses control, and a huge fire breaks out afterwards. Very scary incident, but glad to say that Juan Pablo is okay, and we hope the driver of the safety truck is okay. He was helped out of that thing, but look at the damage on Juan Pablo's car.
Wow, under caution. You know, he was trying to get caught back up to the pack, and whatever was wrong with that car making it vibrate finally broke, and when it did, it sent him out of control. Look at this leaderboard we've got.
Dave Blaney, Landon Castle, Tony Raines, David Gilliland, and Matt Kenseth, the former 500 winner and former champion, is in 5th place. Now, here's the dilemma. We don't know what this has done to the racetrack. There was a lot of heat on the racetrack. This is a brand new surface, very well put together surface. Some $10 million went into this thing actually more than that. But so we have to see what's going on with the racing surface, and that could be very interesting to see.
Yeah, the track could be tore up, and that's big because there could be rain coming too. And if I'm Tommy Baldwin and Dave Blaney and those guys down there, I'm thinking, oh me,
Bring on the rain.
I'm sitting on something big here, baby.
Absolutely, they could. One of those teams that came down had to race their way into the 500. They did exactly that. Dave Blaney did. And now let's take a look at the weather map to see what we're looking at in terms of rain. We're the red dot. And this is Central Florida, so rain does tend to break up and move around. They always say about Central Florida, if you don't like the weather, stick around for a while. It'll change. We've dodged raindrops all night long.
Well, you could see it looked like for sure we were going to have a rain shower hit us, but then it dissipated as it got closer to the Daytona area. So hopefully we can get this track fixed up and go back to racing because, like Darrell said, the storm's brewing, not the weather. These guys on the racetrack, they're starting to really push it hard. They're going to take so many chances in the last laps of this race. It's going to be fun to watch.
There are a lot of hungry drivers out there. For more, let's send it back up to the booth with Mike Joy. Mike?
Tommy Baldwin, who owns Dave Blaney's car, is a contrary. Whatever everybody else does, he's going to do something different. In 2002, in the 500, the short-pitted Ward Burton stopped before he needed fuel and tires. When the checker flag waved, there was his driver in victory lane. Can he and Ryan Pemberton and Dave Blaney do it again?
This place has become almost notorious for people winning a race that have never won a race before. I mean, we've had 2 already this week in the Truck Series and in the Nationwide Cars on Saturday, and here we are with 4 guys at the front of the field that have never won a race. We might be setting up for something really special here tonight.
Blaney's a winner. He's no back of the packer. He's been a World of Outlaws champion, and when called on to race that way into the 500, he got it done and now finds himself in the lead.
Yeah, those 4 drivers hope that green...
I do.
Chumley, it's a little bit too big for